logic. And I'm telling you, when it's not right for me, by example, I stopped. I walked away. Now think, who do you want to learn from? Somebody that can walk the walk and talk the talk and press stop and know why and have no concerns for, oh, I might miss something. I don't have any fear of missing out. You never hear me say, whoa, why did that happen? Why did that slap in the ES just happen? No, I'm not surprised by that. But I can go into a week where I'm expecting certain things to happen and they don't manifest. Okay, I'm not surprised by that. I'm just not interested. See the difference there? That's experience. That's 30 years, baby, of doing the same stuff all the time, expecting the expected results at the end of it. But if it's going to show me signatures that are not supporting what I'm teaching you, that's not an invitation for you to find a new way of doing it. All these new guys and gals out there trying to reinvent the wheel. I've already gave you the wheel. You have to build the car on top of it. And some of you don't want a Lamborghini. Some of you are just okay with a pickup truck, a Volkswagen, a Jeep, or even, well, I won't go there. What's he going to say? What was he going to say? ICT, please tell me what you're going to say. No, I'm not going to do that. But there's a learning curve to this that nobody really expects to exist until they step into it. And they don't like it. It's a reminder to them that everything worth doing requires a lot more effort than you thought it was going to take. There's no shortcuts to this, folks. I am the shortcut. I promise you, even though it seems like it's long-winded all the time, this is the shortcut. You cannot make it simpler than this. You're waiting for the market to go up to run stops or reprice to an inefficiency. It's going to drop to run stops or reprice to an inefficiency, or it's going to go sideways. And guess what? When the market's going to go sideways, ICT is doing something else. Now, imagine for a second. Imagine that you paid me money for the month of April. I would have to do something, right? I would have to perform. I would have to sit down and give you my opinion. Guess what? That doesn't have to happen anymore. I don't do that anymore. That's why I'm never charging ever for education. When I'm done in November, I'm done. I'm done. I have so much enjoyed the last 2 weeks of just simply saying, nah, that's my life. That's what I want to get back to. I didn't ask you for your permission to do what I did. I don't need to ask for it. But I did what I had to do from a psychological point of view, where I'm reminding myself that I'm in control of me. And since 2016, I have not felt in control of my own life. I've allowed people all around the world to conduct my life for me. Tell me when I had to be somewhere, what I had to do, answer emails. I can't even keep up with the emails. It's too many of you. And it just feels so good for me as a man to be able to unplug. I needed it. I needed it. And it was so good to be out there with my kids and just having conversations with them. And I broke down. We were in a restaurant. And one of my sons said to me, he goes, Dad, I've never seen this with you before. And I said, what? He goes, like, you're sitting down, you're talking to us, and you're not even talking about the market. You're not talking about your students. It's just like you're talking to us. And I lost it. So as much as I love doing this with you all, I love doing that with them more. And I'd be honest by saying that I sometimes feel guilty about that. And I shouldn't. They're my kids. But I have built this life all around trading since I was 20 years old. And I was not the best father. I was not the best husband. I've never done anything outside my relationship. And I've always provided for my kids, but I was not there. In the house with them, but I was not there. So it's not always about money that you need to learn lessons about. Because you can be wildly successful, be a pillar in the community of the industry that you're in, and be an utter failure as a father, a husband, a wife. And no amount of money, none of that can wipe it away. You have no idea how hard this industry is because you don't know how hard you're going to make it on yourself. That's the variable. And nobody ever writes that in their books. I bought every one of them. They're never going to place that clarity on it because they have something else to sell later on. And the reality is, if you are told this in the beginning and you're not going to be willing to make the sacrifices, is really what it is. You have to sacrifice your wants because you call them needs. No, I need to do this, ICT. You don't understand. No, I understand. But you need to understand, just simply because you want it and you call it needing it, that's already a problem. Because when you say the word need is going to be, I need to take a trade. I need to get that drawdown back right now. I need to go and reset my account. I need to do this. I need to do it. You don't need to do anything except for learn. You need to listen to me. I'm not giving you bad advice. I'm not trying to prolong your success. I'm not trying to steer you away from something else that might be better, because if you can find it, go do it. If you find something better than I got, tell me about it. I'll look at it and I'll stop what I'm doing and do that. I swear to God, that's what I'll do. But I've already been down that road before, folks. I've already been down that road dozens of times before I left my 20s. And I'll be 51 in August. This dog is set in his ways, and I'm changing this industry. And you're all part of it. You're on the ride with me. We're blazing a trail together. And that's freaking awesome. That's awesome. We're laying down a legacy where people are literally doing things in a controlled manner, learning how to do this in a safe setting. And then you're watching students walk out there in the real world and put it to task. And they're changing their lives with it, independent of whatever I think is going to be in the marketplace. That's awesome. Your success story is waiting, but you can't hurry it up. You can't usher it any faster than it's going to be. And the speed at which you receive it or get to it is unique to you. And be comfortable with that. The harder you push to make it sooner, you're just pushing it further down the line. I swear it's the way it is. You just got to enjoy the process, go through it. And one day you'll know you're ready. You won't feel impulsive about anything. You're comfortable. You'll be able to navigate. You'll know this is a market in a condition right now. You don't want to touch it. And you don't care who else is making money. Who cares? Well done. Good job that you made money. Doesn't mean I have to do anything. It doesn't mean I'm less of a trader. What? That's not what you see on social media, is it? I don't want you to think that way. I don't promote that idea. Your results are yours. I can't sleep in your bed and wrestle with falling asleep because the drawdown you've taken on. And I can't relish in the successes of the profits that you made in your trades because I didn't incur the risk. So why are you trying to do that with other people's results? You're minding their business. They're minding theirs. You mind yours. Some of you won't ever be in business because you're doing stupid stuff like that. You're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You're rushing too soon. And then when you find yourself in a situation that you know in your heart that you're rushing, you shouldn't be there risking real money or trying to get a funded account passed. You don't know what you're doing yet. Why even bother with that until you know exactly what you're doing? How you're going to mess yourself up. You have to learn who you are. The last time we talked, I was in Florida, and I said to you that Alexander the Elder's book, Trading for a Living, the first portion of that book, in my opinion, that's the gem. And he talks about alcoholism and the effects of it and the way it affects people, families, relationships, all that business. I've never been drunk in my life, but I've watched everybody in my family be under the influence of either drugs or alcohol. And you'd be surprised to see how some of them were totally different people when they were drunk. Absolutely, like you would never recognize that's the same person. Totally nasty drunks, like crazy violent drunk. And they would say, "Oh, it's the whiskey talking." No, that's not whiskey talking. Whiskey just numbed them enough to let them have no inhibitions. Without inhibitions, the real person manifests themselves. And that's what happens when you get with trading with live money. You're drunk. You're driving drunk right now with a live account with no experience. You're under the influence of what? Trying to make money. And nobody's there that can take the keys from you. So you have to know these things before you do it. Because you don't want to find out that you are a nasty, violent drunk that crashes when you get with live money. That's why you have to do this in demo. You're going to find your character flaws that causes those same individuals to go to alcohol to self-medicate. They know what's going on, but they won't share it with anybody to help get themselves through it. Failed relationship, midlife crisis, anxiety, generalized anxiety, I'm sure is a major contributing factor. But all those things and other things that the list is too long. You've been hurt, you've been scarred, a bad relationship, you broke up, you're lonely, whatever that is, leads them to alcohol or substance abuse. And trading is in that too. It is the same thing, folks. It's the same thing. I have never been drunk with alcohol. Now, I guess you can say I've been, high from CBD oil. It had THC in it, and I needed it for my back. It was very much appreciated. I haven't done it in 2 years or more now. But I can tell you this, if I have another episode where I was going through it like I did then, I would gladly do it. And I was opposed to anything marijuana. I don't smoke it. I've never smoked it. I've never smoked anything like that. But I am not against it. I don't think you should be trading under the influence of it because I was really relaxed. But the point is, trading with live money, if you don't know yourself, you don't know your model, and you don't know the way the market is behaving, and you haven't seen at least 4 quarters or a full year of what seasonality looks like, you have no baseline. You have no idea. So that's equivalent to you flying into a city you've never been, heartbroken, angry because someone left you, you got fired, you got a cancer diagnosis, 6 months to live, and now you're in a hotel where there is a high-end bar right across the street. What are you going to do? You're going to go over there and medicate yourself. But how are you going to conduct yourself after that? You don't know. So why would you do that with live money? You don't know what you're going to do to yourself, and you don't know the consequences that you're going to do to yourself as a result of whatever it is you do while you're drunk. Trading with live money, losing that, the pain that that's going to bring on because you weren't ready, and you're going to know that you weren't ready when you were ignoring that you knew beforehand. And that's going to present all kinds of scar tissue. That's going to promote you to do what? Make bad decisions. And now you have fear. When teaching my students to operate and learn about themselves in a demo, that's what the demo's there for. But they tell you, here, learn our platform, learn how to trade the patterns that you do with the demo. Well, you think you watched a video by me or someone else or read a book? That's what I did. Oh, I know what that looks like, a 1, 2, 3 top. Oh yeah, it's a descending wedge and that's a head and shoulder. I'm ready. You're not. I wasn't. This is the way it is, folks. But the demo is there for you to discover who you are. What makes you tick? Where are you impulsive? See, that's what it takes to do this. And anybody that tells you otherwise is full of shit. And that's just the way it is. They have some kind of ulterior motive. They have something to sell you. They want to derail you. But I'm telling you, you can do this. But you're going to have to submit to a lot more time than you want to. But once you learn how to do it and you know what sets you off, what makes you feel impulsive, what are the triggering mechanisms in your personal life, in your thinking? Are you wrestling with a mental illness that makes you do certain things that are not supportive for a successful endeavor in trading, that you have to now find coping mechanisms? Are you a drunk? Are you a drug user? If you are, you need to tackle that, because trading will not work with that. Are you in a toxic relationship? If it is that you're in a toxic relationship, you either fix the relationship or leave it. And if you've been removed against your choice from a relationship because they left you, or you had to leave because it was a toxic relationship, you have to let that go and forgive them and forgive yourself and move on. Because if you're feeling all those things, those pressures and regrets, and what if thinking, if we stayed together, or what if I would have left sooner, it would have been so much better, you got to stop. Because all those things are going to trigger you to want to feel better. And to feel better, you escape. That's what I did. I got in that RV and I escaped. The pressure of me wanting to do something I know my rules say I'm not going to be able to do. So I had to take myself away from it. I've never been drunk before, but I get drunk in these markets because I get a bloodlust. I know what I can do in here, but I also know that you're not going to, just yesterday.